Good morning, everybody. It's Debbie. That's the fun.
And Callie.
We're aboard the EnviroLab 3, one of our research vessels today. We're out here in Fisher's Island Sound observing some harbor seals.
We're hoping for the day when we can get students back out here and on the water, and looking forward to that. So our goal today is to take a look at the harbor seal population. We're here in Fisher's Island Sound, and we're going to be showing you some of these amazing animals. They are the most abundant marine mammal that we find here in Long Island Sound and Fisher's Island Sound. And so we can see some of them right now on the rocks. Is everybody hearing us okay now? Hopefully.
Woo. Yeah, I think we're having a microphone malfunction, so Callie and I are just going to speak loudly. I hope that you're able to hear us. It's a little windy, so I'm going to try to protect the microphone with my hand a little bit here, but you can see some of those animals that we're observing today. I'm trying to hold the camera steady. We're fighting the elements today.
Yep, Debbie's doing some fancy camera work. Right now she's got her phone attached to a monoscope, so it hooks right up to her cell phone, and it's basically binoculars that are helping us get a better view of those seals. Yeah, that looks really good. So again, the species that we most abundantly see out here is what we call the harbor seal. Once in a while we see gray seals out here as well, but they're
That one's hamming it up for us.
But there are marine mammals, and so that means you have some things in common with these seals that you're taking a look at right now. If you have some ideas about characteristics of mammals, go ahead and send them in the comments. We'll take a look at them. Okay, what do you have in common with a seal?
I'm going to switch camera again. All right, why don't we head in the cabin and discuss some marine mammal adaptations?
Oh, I like it.
So, we're aboard the EnviroLab 3 again. I tripped a little. All right. So now we're in the cabin of the EnviroLab 3. We'll talk a little bit about mammals. So I see a couple of people joining us. Remember, if you want to share the name of your school with us while you're watching, we'll give you a shout out. We're really happy to have teachers and students tuning in for our Facebook Live. Oh, Owen says mammals breathe air.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. So that's a really challenging thing for a marine mammal to do, right? Because they live in water. So marine mammals will have to dive down into the water to find their food and to interact with other animals. But they have to keep coming back to the surface. So our mammals have to breathe air. I'm seeing someone else say warm-blooded. Oh, Waterford High School. All right, if you're tuning in from Waterford, how's it going? We're happy to hear from you. Let's see. Molly says she wants to hang out on the rocks with her friends in the sun. Well, we saw a couple of seals out there who were not doing a good job of social distancing. They were laying right next to each other, kind of hanging out. Oh, Clark Lane Middle. We love Clark Lane. Hi, Abigail and Liam. Nice to hear from you. All right, so being warm-blooded, that's kind of challenging when you live in the water too, right, Callie?
Absolutely. So you can see probably from us being outside just for a few minutes, it's pretty windy out there today. We're actually able to measure some of the temperature readings of the water, and it is cold. It is 6 degrees Celsius out there in our air and our water. It's just a teeny bit warmer at about 8 degrees Celsius. That's cold. We're talking about 46 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's still really chilly. And so that's one of the big challenges of being a marine mammal and living in the water.
Just occurred to me that it's backwards. So you have your work cut out. I want to say hello to St. Mary and St. Joseph Catholic School, Sacred Heart in Groton, and Marine Science Magnet High School. Hi guys,
Thanks
welcome. So you can tell from things going backwards here. Yeah, so the air is really cold, but the water is a little bit warmer today, just a little bit. But because of the properties of water and that specific heat capacity, that means that the seals are going to lose their body heat very quickly in water. So they have to have some adaptations to help them survive in cold water. Yeah, Callie's really talented. She wrote that backwards. I didn't realize it was going to be mirrored. What other characteristics of mammals? Right here.
That's right.
Right, they've got hair or fur. Even things like whales do qualify for that characteristic because sometimes the babies are born with little whiskers. So that's a type of hair. What other characteristics of mammals? They breathe air, they're warm-blooded, they have hair or fur.
Think about the young for a moment, right? So think about a baby seal. So we say mammals have live birth, right, Debbie?
That's right. They give birth to their babies. They don't lay eggs or anything like that.
Nope, not going to see that.
Oh, they have backbones. Thank you, Iris, age 6. She knows they have backbones. That's right. Mammals have spines that connect their brains to all the nerves and tissues in their body. They also, how do they feed those babies? Mm-hmm. We got to think about that. My arm's getting tired. They're feeding their babies with milk.
That's right.
So seals have very, very rich, nutritious milk to feed their babies. And so our seals are a marine mammal that spends most of their life in the water, but they do some things on land. That's why we're able to see them so easily today. I'll try to get the camera to focus on some that are swimming around in the water, but that can be hard because they don't like to stay at the surface for very long. So I'll do the best I can as we're filming.
That's right. So do you want to show them these pictures up
here?
Yeah.
So the text is backwards, but
hopefully you can see those photos are actually pictures. So that's what the seals look like out in the water. We can see them hauled out on rocks, and we can also see them swimming around. So think about why the seals haul themselves out. What are some reasons they would pull themselves out of the water? And you can see from the drawing they've got these short, stubby little flippers. So it's hard for them to get on those rocks. They can't pull themselves up with those flippers. They kind of bounce on their bellies, almost like they're doing the worm. It's kind of a cool thing to see. So why do they take all that energy to haul out? Think about that and put it in the comments for us. And then you can also think about what they're doing while they're in the water. I mean, we know they're swimming around, but what makes them go into that chilly water?
There are lots of reasons to be in the water, right? All right, I'm waiting for some comments to come in, but in the meantime, I might head back out onto deck and see if we can get a better look at those seals. We can observe them doing some of those things we were just talking about. Okay, let's see. Flip the cam. Whoop, there we go. All right, so we got some seals. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Ooh, I just saw one jump. So, I got a comment saying that they need to look for food in the water. Absolutely.
That's right. So these harbor seals are primarily feeding on fish. They are also eating crustaceans, but you're right. They are looking for food while they're in that water. They can stay underwater for up to a half an hour.
There we go.
So they're pretty good at holding their breath.
All right, so when they're in Long Island Sound or Fisher's Island Sound, they're eating some fish that are around here, maybe some crustaceans like crabs, things like that. Now, we don't see seals year-round in Fisher's Island Sound, though, do we, Callie?
No, not typically. So these animals migrate, and this is kind of the tail end of the time that we see
there's
them
a swimmer
here. We start to see them in about October, so in the fall. They stay here through the winter, and then now in the spring, end of April, beginning of May, they start to head back north. So they migrate back to the Gulf of Maine, and that's where they will have their pups. So once they head back up to the Gulf of Maine in the spring, that's puppy
come over this way.
Follow directions by mating season. And then that cycle happens again. And starting in about October, we start to see them back here in Fisher's Island and Long Island Sound.
Oh, they've left the point. They're not there anymore. When I first started the video, they were out by the point. Yeah, so the seals migrate. They also need to pull themselves out onto the rocks to sun themselves. Iris, you're absolutely right. We also had a comment from Abby who said that they found a baby harbor seal on the beach last spring. So sometimes that will happen. We don't often see baby harbor seals around here because they actually prefer to give birth north of here. But it's not out of the question that that was a baby. It might just have been a small one. And the mama will usually leave the baby on the beach to go and catch food for herself because the baby doesn't need to hunt, right? Because the baby's drinking milk. Now, they actually will wean off of their mother's milk in just about a month. They really don't need to drink that milk for very long compared to a human baby. So we can see these seals are hauled out on the rocks. Some of them have some adaptations for keeping them warm even when they're sitting on the rocks. Now, I'm looking for a particular behavior, and I think I can see a seal doing it if the wind will cooperate with me here. Ooh, I just saw one in the water and then I lost track of it.
There's some good ones on the point too.
Oh, excellent. Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm going to put the phone down just like this. Sorry, folks, if you're getting a little seasick at home. I'm doing the best I can. The wind is not helping us. All right, so I could see some on the rocks. Oh.
Look at them stretched out on those rocks.
Now, the behavior that I'm thinking about is called the banana pose. And I'm looking for a seal that's kind of doing it. There we go, right? Sort of center of the screen. There are two seals that are kind of lifting their front and their back ends so that only their bellies are touching the rocks. That one's not doing it. I'm looking for some more seals that might be doing the banana pose. Let's see. Maybe some over here, I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to pan through those seals again and see if I can get a good shot of a banana pose seal here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, right? A center shot, they're kind of doing it a little bit. They're not showing us well. So the banana pose, they look kind of like bananas when they sit like that. But there's a special purpose for sitting like that. It's not just so that they can work on their core strength. There's another purpose, and that's to help keep them warm. If they're sitting like a banana, that means less of their body is touching that cold, wet rock. And so they can stay just a teeny bit warmer as they dry out in the sun. Now, we can see the difference between wet and dry seals here, too. I apologize about the wavy camera. I'm holding it just as still as I possibly can. Oh, hello. Let's see.
Right, but I think some of the comments were talking about seals taking advantage
Look at all the
of
ones
that
over there.
sunshine, right? And that's
Yeah.
right. So they're hauling out on those rocks not only to take a rest, but also to take advantage of that warm sun, helps them to rest. And then you couple that with the banana pose. Again, all of these are strategies for them to stay warm. We said that was one of the challenges of being a marine mammal
Look at the size of that
in
seal.
this environment.
That's a big boy. Do you have your binoculars there, Callie? Can you get a good look? Oh, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, the one that's hauling out right now?
Yeah.
Nice. That is a big seal.
Now, I can't really see what's going on. It seems like there's an interaction with another seal right there. Are you able to tell what's happening?
Right now, they're just kind of looking at each other.
Oh, who's going to be king of the rock? Now, the seals around here don't have a lot to compete for except for maybe that space. All right, so I'm going to try to lower it a little bit. All right, they're competing mostly just for space on the rocks to haul out and stay dry and warm. They're not actually spending a lot of time competing for other resources like food or for mates. That'll happen more when they're up in the Gulf of Maine. So, so the seals are staying warm on these rocks. What other adaptations do you know about that seals might have for staying warm? Go ahead and post that in the comments. You might have noticed that they're a little bit roly-poly. Oh, I had a head pop up close to the camera. I might have just missed it.
Nice.
Now I'm gonna look with my eyes first because that's a lot of the way that Project O educators look for for seals is we look with our eyes first, and then we'll use our binoculars to help us.
Yep, and I can see them swimming. There's a little splash right there.
Little splash. There were a lot in the water when we first arrived at this location before we went live. I think most of them have gotten used to our presence, and they're hanging out on the rocks. That's a pity, because when they see them swimming, it's really cool. They kind of pop up to the surface for a little while. Oh, I see. Lena knows. They do have fat. They have a special kind of fat called blubber that's really, really good at insulating their bodies from the cold. It keeps them warm. And so they're able to sort of trap the heat inside their body, and they lose less of their body heat to the water around them. So that's a really good adaptation. Now, I pointed out before, I can see a swimmer now. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get it on camera, but I talked before about being able to tell the difference between a seal that's wet and dry. And you might, I think I lost track of him. Hey, swimmy seal. So the seals that have recently, I know, I believe you that it's hard. I'm going to try to show. Oh, I got him.
There we go.
Oh, hey there, Celio. He's popping up at the top of the water. He's going to just stay there for just a few seconds. He's doing a behavior called battle. Oh, there's a seal super close to us that Callie was trying to point out to me, and I missed it. Maybe it'll come back up. I'm going to zoom out in case it does, because it was that close to us. I'm going to try to zoom out anyway.
So we're seeing some interesting behaviors with the seals that are in the water. Sometimes we see them sort of get really tall and pop their heads out of the water really high, and we call that behavior spy hopping. Helps them to get a better view of what's around them. Sometimes we see them kind of porpoising and diving into the water, and we can see some splashes on the surface.
I saw that earlier too.
So that's another behavior that we're noticing in the water. You can see them happening kind of between the rocks right there in the distance. Oh, and there's
There's a whole bunch of seals beyond us.
There we go. Come on in the water now, Debbie.
Yeah, I can see them now. So maybe you can see little heads popping up at the surface of the water. And again, they just do that spy hopping. They'll come up to the surface. Hello, little guy. He's checking us out, right? So they pop right up. They look around. And then they'll probably make the choice very soon to dive right back under the water again. See you later, guys. So that's a way for them to just kind of check out what's going around. The different coloration, so we'll see totally dry seals are going to be sort of like this light color as they're hauling out on these rocks. They're rock color, which makes it kind of hard for us to see them. I'm going to try to zoom.
While Debbie's getting a closer view of those rocks, take a look at the coloration of the rocks as well. So we can tell that the tide right now is low. That's a great time for us to look for seals, because there are more of those rocks exposed, and that means there's more places for those seals to haul out and take a rest and warm up in the sunshine. So low tide is a great time to look for seals out here.
Now I think I could see a seal that's kind of dry and laying next to a seal that's kind of wet. So when they're wet, they're going to look really dark colored. By the time they're dry, that fur or hair on their skin is going to be light colored. So that's another adaptation they have for staying a little bit warmer, right? So if you've ever worn a black t-shirt in the middle of summer, you know that keeps you a little bit hotter than if you're wearing a white t-shirt. So when the seals are trying really hard to warm up, they're going to be dark colored and absorbing more heat from the sun. And then once their hair is dry, it's light colored and reflective, and will reflect some of that extra heat, because it's possible for those seals to get a little too warm. All right, so, I swiped away from the comments. All right, they also have some pretty thick skin. Yeah, definitely. Although the fur on this species of seal is not super duper thick, because they're not an Arctic species. They're not going to go all the way to the North Pole. There are some seals that have really, really thick fur to help them stay warm, and that often is for an Arctic animal. Oh, I see the seals over there hauling out. There is just one big seal. I'm wondering if maybe it might not be a harbor seal. It's very big. I can't see it very well through my phone, so I'm asking Callie to look at it for me.
So Debbie's kind of alluding to another species that we often, we can't spot out here. Not quite in the same numbers as the harbor seal.
Look at that chopper.
But sometimes we see gray seals out here as well.
Nah, he might just be a chubby harbor seal.
Yeah, I think so. When I'm using my binoculars,
see a long snout on
I
him,
don't
even
see
through
it
the camera.
Even though it does look big.
He is chubby. Well, you know what? It could be a pregnant female.
That's right, could be.
Because sooner or later, those seals are going to begin their migration back up to the Gulf of Maine for pupping season. They'll have their babies between May and June. So that might just be a mama. I retract my statement. You're beautiful.
If you have seal questions, things that you're wondering about, feel free to put those in the comments and we'll do our best
There's a
to
good
answer
banana
them.
pose right there. All right. Oh, and a swimmer. Hi. All right, so Project O has been taking student scientists out on our research vessel for over 40 years now, and we've been studying the population of harbor seals in Fisher's Island Sound. So some of the things we do is we count the seals that are here and what they're doing, whether they are hauled out on the rocks or if they're swimming in the water. But another thing that we look at is also the animals that are sharing this space. We look at the birds that are on those rocks. I saw cormorants. I zoomed in on one that was diving. There were also some Canada geese here earlier, as well as some blackback gulls and herring gulls that are sharing the rocks here. So thanks for tuning in. Oh, hi from Franklin, Connecticut. It's not easy for us to tell how old they are. Generally, the older ones are a little bit larger, but males are also larger than females, so that can be hard for us to tell too, since there's no other difference besides size between male and female. We can't tell which ones are boys and which ones are girls. All right, and if you are enjoying our Facebook Live videos, share them with your friends, with your teacher friends, with your student friends. Kyle and Marissa will be going live at 9:30 on Thursday and teaching you how to press and preserve algae samples and seaweed samples. All right, well, thanks so much for tuning in. Post your comments and we'll answer your questions in the comments. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.